Hey, MCE crew, something a little different today. We're going to kill two birds in one stone because I fell behind on my schedule. So I'm going to do my hike and I'm going to talk to you about some of the things that are going on in the economy and some of the things we can expect to see in 2022 economically and how we need to get prepared for it. Well, we need to be prepared for it. If you've been watching the channel, I'm sure you have been out there doing your due diligence and making acquisitions of assets very smartly. Kudos to you. Listen, let's start this off by dealing with one of the elephants in the room. There's a lot of doom and gloom out there in the news. And you know what? A lot of it reflects reality, so that's fine. But we have to understand how to take that adverse news and we have to use it to our advantage. And problems are going to come, financial hardships and challenges are going to arise. But Jordan Belfort said it best.
I want you to deal with your problems by becoming rich.
That's right. I want you to deal with your problems by becoming rich, not comfortable, okay? I had a buddy, great buddy, like a brother to me. He and I debate this we talk about this all the time. There was a point at which he said, hey man, I'm comfortable being comfortable. I don't need to be rich. And he said this many, many years ago, back when we were young and stupid. But now he sees the error in that line of thinking. He understands that he's got to be rich, okay? And look, growing up dirt poor, like we did. Now, mind you, we had a great, loving family. We didn't have any resources, though, okay? All right, I've got 2 freezers that are full of food. That was not the reality when I was coming up, okay? My parents, grandparents, they did what they could, aunts, uncles, but we were poor. And look, I don't say that because I think that there's virtue in poverty. Not at all. It's just the reality. So look, what can we expect in 2022? Well, inflation is going to continue to spike. I don't give a damn what Janet Yellen and Jerome Powell, they've already been proven to be liars. So inflation is going to continue to spike, okay? That means you are going to continue to have to outpace inflation with your returns. You know what outpaced inflation this year? The S&P 500. Inflation, and as we always talk about, I'm not talking about that BS inflation number that they trot out on the news, television news, for those who don't watch this channel and are, uninitiated. Oh, it's 6%. I'll be damned if it's 6%. They don't count food and energy. It's 14% or higher. Shadow Stats, John Williams. Shout out to him. But the S&P returned over 25% this year. Last year was 16.3%. So the returns are out there, okay? The way to beat inflation is out there. Now, we've got a product that we market, and I'm happy to say our clients did very well this year. They beat inflation, okay, by a country mile. So continue to make those smart acquisitions. I don't know what the S&P 500 is going to do in 2022. However, I'm not thinking about coming out of it. I'm going to stand pat and stay invested in it, okay? Because even if it does go down, let's say it dips, then that'll be a buying opportunity, okay? So don't be afraid of market dips. That's the other thing. We're going to have inflation, and we're going to have some market dips. And when markets dip, it's time for you to buy. Or at least consider it. Okay? Gasoline's going to go up because the oil policy of the United States of America is garbage. Okay? You got the President of the United States out there begging OPEC to pump more gasoline, more oil. And we've got the ability to do that right here in our own country. Okay? But he won't let that happen. Look, I haven't spoken as stridently as I may have liked in 2021 with regard to a lot of things. But that's going to change in 2022. It's going to start right now. We have a buffoon for a president,
Let's go, Brandon. I agree.
And even if he steps down, which he needs to do, like yesterday, then we have a laughing hyena for a vice president. I think that's a nervous tick with her. She really needs to get it under control. But anyway, that's the leadership, political leadership for the country. Okay, those two right now. Now, 2022, something's going to happen. We're going to have an election. However, the illness is still out there. And you can bet that the illness will be used as an excuse to do all sorts of power grabs by local, state, and federal governments. So, doesn't look like we're going to be able to stand in line and vote in 2022. Might have to do those mail-in ballots again, even though they're okay with you standing in line for a test, but whatever. In which case, there'll be some opportunity for malfeasance. So, that does not bode well if the Republicans, who, look, I'm not a fan of them either, but at least they seem like they know the basics of economics. The Republicans have a shot, a good shot right now, of taking the Congress, the House, and the Senate, okay? And hopefully injecting some sanity back into the economy. Now, sure, the stock market's doing well. It's doing very well. But these employment numbers, they're fudging those. Oh, guys, in 2022, make a resolution. Stop watching the news if you haven't already. Stop watching it. It's garbage. They're not reporting the truth. Okay? Let me just pause. Beautiful. Okay, so stop watching the news in 2022. Turn it off. It's garbage. I would encourage you to get some subscriptions to some newspapers. Start reading those. Wall Street Journal. They don't endorse me. They should. Here. They should sponsor Money Changes Everything, but they don't. And that's fine. Financial Times. I don't agree with everything I read in those papers, but it gives me an opportunity to start doing some deep research, because you're never going to get the type of depth in reporting from a TV program or news program on TV that you will from a newspaper. It's just the formats are different. And when I say newspaper, I'm taking it back to the old school. I'm a child of the 70s. So, you know what I mean. A newspaper online. I'm giving it up. I don't read my print Wall Street Journal nearly as much as I used to. I read it online. So, you know, even I'm changing. So there you have it. That's kind of what we're going to expect going into 2022. We got the Republicans with a good shot at putting these Democrats out of power in the Congress at least, and making it virtually impossible for the president, the buffoon that he is, to further his legislative agenda, which basically is just tax and spend. Okay, that's what the Democrats do. Speaking of taxes, you're going to see some increases in taxes, not just at the federal level, at the local and state level as well. Because what has happened is, and I'm pausing here because I think I'm about to lose signal, go too deep in here. But anyway, our governor here in Maryland, Larry Hogan, we call him Boss Hogan with 2 G's, like Boss Hog. That's who he reminds me of. He's had the bariatric surgery and lost a lot of weight, but he still is Boss Hog to us. You're fat shaming. No, anyway, Hoagie, he decided to shut down our state. And when he did that, of course, we lost out on lots of tax revenues at the state and local level. Alcohol tax, yes, we have an alcohol tax here in Maryland. Gasoline taxes because people weren't traveling. Okay, sales taxes because a lot of people didn't have the money because they were laid off. Okay, and they didn't want to spend that stimulus on stupid stuff. So we missed out on a lot of tax revenue. So we're going to realize an increase in property taxes here in the state of Maryland to make up for that. Okay, so you can expect some higher taxes. This is why you have to, if you're going to start a business, which I would highly encourage, or if you have a business, really refine it in 2022. You've got to get great tax representation. You have to. And the reason for that is because you're going to have to play defense on these taxes because they're coming after you, okay? The country's broke. We did the video the other day about how how the IRS is saying that, hey, even if you steal stuff or deal illegal drugs, we want the proceeds. We want the taxes due on that. Erie County, I got to find out which Erie County. I think it's Illinois. Don't quote me on that. I'm going to do a video on it. But there's an Erie County that's saying the same thing. Hey, you know, you might have stolen something last year. Don't forget, claim it on your taxes. You've got to figure out what the fair market value of that stuff you stole is. Remember those people that bum rushed the Nordstroms? Oh, so they should be going after each one of them for their appropriate tax bill for all of the stolen merchandise. This is how ridiculous this country has become. Okay? It's just mind-blowing stupidity. All right? And the IRS, the United States government, when they do things like that, does it inspire confidence? No, it is the governmental equivalent of looking under the seat cushions for change so you can go buy a pack of generic cigarettes. That's what our government has turned into. All right, so enough of that. Remember, acquire assets. Okay, come out of the banks. Sure, you can have your checking account. That makes things simple and easy when it comes to paying your bills. But I hope you don't have a savings account. Okay, and don't keep too much money in a checking account. Quite frankly, okay, you can move money around from a well-structured insurance policy that's blowing away any savings account you could possibly imagine from a bank. You can move your money around in that way. Okay, it's all electronic these days. It's no problem. So that's my advice for 2022. Okay, guys, farewell 2021. Let's move forward expeditiously. All right, guys, I'll talk to you soon.